Thank you, everybody, for coming back to the Riggs Beast channel. As always, let's go beast on that subscribe button. Let's go beast on that like button. And let's go beast on this Monday Night Raw review, which came to you live from Kansas City, Missouri. Now, there's not much I can say about this Raw that hasn't been said already about the Second World War. All right, it was a bad show. And it was a bad show because the build to payback was the point of the show. And the build to payback is bad because it's been screwed with. It goes hand in hand. This show had very little highlights. This show had very little happen. But let's go over it. It's going to open. It's a 5-minute open of Braun Strowman highlights, including another recap of the wonderful Reigns beating, throwing Kalisto in the garbage, fighting the Big Show, having the ring break, etc. Once Raw actually starts, Chris Jericho actually opens. You thought they would open with Strowman? No, they have Jericho. It's the highlight reel. Says it's the last highlight reel because he's going to beat Owens and become the U.S. champ and go to SmackDown Live. So it's the last highlight reel on Monday Night Raw. Honestly, this is probably one of the last nights you're going to see Chris Jericho on wrestling television because he's going back with Fozzy very soon. I can't see him going much longer. He's actually his own guest. He promotes his match with Owens a little more. Miz is going to interrupt Jericho. Says Raw is about the It couple, which cues Jericho telling him to watch It couple. Then the highlight reel gets replaced with Miz TV. Dean Ambrose is then going to come out. Says no one wants Miz TV. Miz TV now gets replaced with the Ambrose Asylum. This is coming off dumb. Some people are going to like this. It had a little bit of humor. This is coming off dumb. Ambrose gives Jericho a blazer with Christmas lights on it because he destroyed the light-up jacket last year, which Jericho says he still owes him $15,000 for. He acts like he likes the jacket. Jericho can play anything off. I give him credit for that. Miz states that all the guys in the back should be giving him gifts, giving credibility to the show. Ambrose then dirty deeds him. Jericho puts Maurice on the list for being married to The Miz. Segment over. Thank God. Next, you're going to have Matt Hardy versus Sheamus. It's a physical match. Matt is playing the subtle multiple personalities well. He goes to Matt Hardy version 1. He has a little broken. It's nice. It's good. Everybody calm down. Once the lawsuit gets settled again, we're going to see broken Matt Hardy. He's doing this quite well. This match, though, is only to promote the tag team title match of the pay-per-view. No more, no less. That's it. The end of the match, though, Sheamus is going to shove Jeff off of Matt because he was checking on him. Jeff then gets on the apron. Cesaro pulls him off the apron. Matt's going to hit the twist of fate, beat Sheamus. That's your beef between the teams. They get in a little argument. And then they do the handshake thing from last week. They raise the Hardys' hands. Move on. This is probably not going to be the only title match. They're probably going to have another one on Raw in between after this and the next Raw pay-per-view. Next segment, Miz and Maurice are yelling at Kurt Angle in the back about what Ambrose and Jericho did to The Miz. He then books Jericho and Ambrose versus Miz and a mystery partner. Next, you get Neville and the heel gamer, TJ Perkins. I'm going to say this again. He needs to change his entrance. He needs to change his theme. You cannot have a heel come out to Mega Man music and do the same thing like he's catching hearts before he comes to the ring. You can't do that. It just comes off dumb. But they're going to go up against Austin Aries and Jack Gallagher. It's a solid match. It got decent time. This was the same as the singles match between Matt and Sheamus. In reverse, it's a tag match to set up Neville and Aries. Again, no more, no less. Aries hits the discus 5-arm, pins TJ Perkins. Next, I've been having a laugh at this since they announced it. The dumpster match. WWE literally created their own damn meme with this match. What else can I say? They called it exactly what it is. They called it exactly what this show is. Dumpster match. Stroman gets on the mic before the match, though. Says he considers the crowd trash and blah, 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 blah. Trying to get heel heat. That's why he's wrestling Kalisto. Heel heat. Beat up a guy smaller. Try to get Roman cheered as best they can. It's not really going to work, but it's typical wrestling. This is what you do to build a heel. Before Kalisto comes out, though, Angle tries to stop him. Kalisto messes up his promo in the back again, trying to say, oh, he has to fight for Lucha, and it's hilarious. The whole thing is just hilarious. I can't take it seriously. I didn't at all. I don't know how many of you did. Kalisto, though, he has a darker look, new music. The music is horrible. I didn't like it at all. I did like the look, but the music was awful. The match, though. Basically, Strowman dominates 98% of it. To end it, though, Strowman's on the apron. He couldn't get Kalisto over. Kalisto gets back in the ring, kicks Strowman's knees. He winds up in the dumpster. Technically, Strowman loses. Strowman then proceeds to kill Kalisto. Gets him in the dumpster, closes the lids, pushes it up the ramp, nicely straps the lid shut, and then a dangerous 2-foot fall off the ramp in old New Age Outlaws against Mick Foley and Cactus Jack from about 19 years ago. It didn't have nearly the same effect. It's not going to. It was a much safer, less impactful situation. I see what they're trying to do, but the 2-foot fall, again, it just came off as comedy. And then when he straps him in, it's almost like, well, thank you, Braun. You're being safe. He's supposed to be a psycho killer, but he's being safe. So at least he's a safe psycho killer. We can appreciate that. Braun Strowman's still our hero. After this, you get a video promo of Roman Reigns, as if you needed that one. Then you get a Bray Wyatt promo for the House of Horrors match, which is non-title, so Bray Wyatt may actually win. Interesting, though, I did catch this. At the end of the promo, he rolled his eyes in the back of his head, Taker-like. He's the eater of L's, though. Taker was never the eater of L's. If you're going to take Bray seriously, he needs to start winning. And with this being a non-title match, he needs to win it. He absolutely does. I'll have more on that on my preview and predictions for Payback, but I'm just telling you now, Bray has to win. Next, Dana Brooke versus Alicia Fox. I'm going to say right now, who cares? Emma comes out. Dana botches a Michinoku driver and wins. Almost kills Alicia Fox. Good job, Dana Brooke. Emma gets in the ring and hugs Dana and leaves. Who cares? Samoa Joe and the club do a promo together. Joe is good on the mic. He's good in the ring. Great on the mic. We talked about this a few weeks ago. He needs to be treated special. He needs to get the Braun Strowman treatment. He really does. They need to do a better job with him, and I'm not going to go long on this because I've talked about it already. They need to do a better job of having him look more dominant in his matches. This match with Seth Rollins, I'll go into it more like I said on the preview and prediction show. He's another guy who needs a win. But it's Enzo and Cass and Rollins versus Anderson, Gallows, and Samoa Joe. Anderson, Gallows, and Joe jump Enzo and Cass before Seth Rollins can come out. They beat them down. Seth Rollins comes out. He gets jumped by all three guys. Cass gets back in the ring. Cass gets him off. Medics are looking over Enzo, who took a magic killer. Kurt Angle's going to come out. He gives Rollins and Cass a new partner. Way to get Finn Balor on the show. Everybody talking about Finn Balor reuniting the club. You might want to hold off on that one a little bit. The match is going to end with Rollins beating Anderson with his new finisher. I'm not going to lie. I don't like it. I saw it on video a few weeks ago when it was dark match after Raw. I wanted to wait to see it live. It just comes off. He pulls him in and he hits him with a high knee. It doesn't come off special. I think he needs to go back to the drawing board. I still think the Phoenix Splash is the way to go. Next, you're going to get Alexa Bliss. Now, Alexa Bliss is probably promo of the night. She makes fun of how Bayley talks about wrestling being her dream, etc. And to be honest, Bayley needs a little edge to her. This coming off as a 10-year-old living a dream, it's getting old. She had a little bit of an edge in NXT. Right now, they are just playing this to death on live TV, and their crowd's going to turn against her very soon. It's not going to be long before the crowd really starts getting sick of it. It's worse than Cena. And I guarantee you, by SummerSlam, if she's still like this, the crowd will start to turn against her. But Bayley comes out then, talks about her hard work and how she made it. Typical Bayley. Alexa puts over how she's going to win. And then Sasha Banks comes out. Alexa starts ripping Sasha and Bayley's relationship. Sasha then puts over how Bayley makes the rules because she's the champ and how Sasha's going to shut her up. Sasha punches Alexa. You have Alexa versus Sasha. You can tell the heel turn is coming. They're going to save it. The Alexa Bayley result is interesting. I'm still not decided on who I think is going to win that match. And it could go either way. Alexa, I feel, loses that match. What's the point? Do you go into a feud with Sasha as Bayley maybe goes to Nia? If Alexa wins, you have Alexa Bayley for the while, keeping Bayley busy, chasing title. Meanwhile, you have Sasha sprinkled in. There's dynamics to both sides. It's going to be an interesting thing to figure out and then come to you guys with an answer. But the match is brief. Alexa gets herself counted out. The announcers put over how the real fight for her on Sunday and how they like it, except for Michael Cole, which I thought was smart. I like this. Bayley then, who was on commentary, grabs Alexa, tries to bring her back. She ran off. Bayley then says, well, she ran off, comes back, attacks Bayley. Then Alexa runs off again before Sasha can get her. She comes off chicken shit heel, but badass at the same time. Probably best shit of the night was Alexa Bliss. Next, you get Dean Ambrose and Jericho in the back. Basically, this was a comedy skit. The whole point of it was he was asking Jericho to take him off the list. Jericho didn't want to take him off the list because he still owed him $15,000 for the jacket, but he looks at the new blazer with the Christmas lights and goes, you know what, I like this. He takes him off the list. Dean Ambrose is then slapping him on the back, saying a bunch of good things. Jericho looks mad. As soon as Dean leaves, he puts Dean back on the list. Next, you get Enzo and Cass versus the Club announced for the pre-show, and Miz TV with Finn Balor on the pre-show. Great. Can't wait for that one. You all tell me if you're excited about that. Hit me up on Twitter at the Rigsbeast if you're excited for that pre-show. Tell me in the comments if you're excited for that pre-show. Spoiler alert, I'm not. Miz is doing a segment with co-stars from the Marine 5, like anybody gives a crap about the Marine 5. The whole point of this was he gets a note with his tag team partner and he looks happy. Next up is Curtis Hawkins. Now keep in mind, if you're a jobber, you could become a number one contender for a heavyweight title. Just keep on, you never know. It can happen any day. But he's going to face Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews wins with the spinning powerbomb. Titus O'Neil comes out, raises Crews' hands, he takes a selfie. They're trying to push this gimmick where he's an agent. You know what? Apollo Crews needs something. Titus O'Neil still has a couple months left on his contract. Give it a shot. See what happens. But Apollo Crews needs a personality change. Similar to Bayley, except he was brought up too early and has been underutilized. Both, especially now, needs a personality change. They then play the same package that started Raw. They play it here. So you spent 10 minutes of the show with the same video package. You see where I'm getting off on this Raw? The next segment, which is the second to last thing, because then you have the main event. That's Raw. Kurt Angle's talking with Austin Aries. Then he's talking to The Miz. This is a segment to get the Drifter on Raw. You keep this up, like I said before, he's going to get over for a brief time. Kurt Angle says, good luck, you're going to need it. Miz says, no, he doesn't. Angle, yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does, etc. Then you get to your main event, guys. Ambrose and Jericho versus Miz, and actually nobody comes out. He says his partner's got the flair for the dramatic. Nobody comes out. He tries to get it canceled, gets out of the ring. Kurt Angle comes out and says, you have a match, partner or not, starts the match. Ambrose and Jericho beat down the Miz before a break. Miz tries to leave after the break, but Ambrose gets him on the announcer's table. Bray Wyatt actually winds up being the partner, I suppose. He appears and Sister Abigail's Dean Ambrose onto the screen on the stage. They work over Jericho. They get him back in the ring. Jericho's going to get a code breaker on The Miz. Bray Wyatt gets a Sister Abigail to Jericho. Wyatt goes to pose over Jericho. The Miz tries to pose with him, who then gets a Sister Abigail via Bray Wyatt. He poses over The Miz. End of the show. That's Monday Night Raw, guys. That's it. Monday Night Raw was a 3 out of 10. I can't give it any more than that. Like I started the show with, because the payback build is so bad. You had controversy over if a title match was even going to be on it. It wound up not being on it. 2 main feuds are split between brands. You're just trying to get them over with. That's why it's bad. So you have bad builds for your main feuds other than Stroman and Roman, which will be the main event. So your Raws are going to be bad. And they're trying to keep Roman off so he doesn't get the heat from the crowd leading up to this. That's the whole point of keeping Roman off television. Trying to limit the heat. Similar to what they did for a couple weeks back for WrestleMania 32 with him and Triple H. It didn't work then. It's probably not going to work now. In fact, it's not going to work now. But they're going to give it a shot regardless if we like it or not. But that's Monday Night Raw. There's nothing more. 3 out of 10. And like I said at the beginning, there's nothing I could say about Raw that hasn't been said about the Second World War. But that is your official Monday Night Raw review. As always, let's go beast on that subscribe button. Let's go beast on that like button. And as always, guys, keep it beast.